The following is a presentation of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. Student-led, student-centered, student-serving.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. My name is Carly Evans. Alongside joining me is Ian MacHendrie. Ian, tonight is the first night that we are officially starting our filming and coverage of both the girls and boys basketball teams for Frederick. How are we feeling about that?
It's good to be back, Carly. It has been a fat minute since we've done a broadcast. Playoffs back in, I want to say like November, late October.
It was a while ago.
It was a while ago. It's been about a month since we did football, and it's been a long time since we've done basketball, so it's good to be back.
100%. Couldn't agree more. As you know, your Frederick girls going into this game against Standley Lake tonight, they are looking superb on the season. Obviously, they've kind of squeaked by a little bit with a few games, but currently they're sitting at 6-1 on the season. And last game, they actually beat Grand Junction with a total score of 56-43 only 3 days ago. And so it's one of those where, yes, they lost the game prior, actually, which was 4 days ago now, but it's something that, talking to, some of the players such as Micah Thompson, she said she's just kind of keeping a clean slate, not thinking about it. It's almost like if you've ever seen those Etch-a-Sketch things, and it's one of those where you just wipe it completely out of your mind. You don't think about it whatsoever. As I was saying, they're facing off against Standley Lake. Standley Lake, a very young, fresh, biting, competitive team. They are currently undefeated. Granted, they have played a few less games, so they're only sitting at 4-0. But 4-0 is still 4-zip.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game tonight for sure. Like you talked about with that youngster group with Standley Lake, this team is so young. 3 freshmen in the starting 5, Carly, and that's insane. I haven't seen that, I don't think, at all, covering any sport at any time. And these 3 freshmen are no joke either. These players are very, very good at basketball. JoJo Martin, one of the star freshmen, leads this team in points. 25 points per game. She's basically the whole scoring route for this offense. And then Chloe Miller as well. She had offers apparently coming out of middle school, which is insane. So this team is very fired up, ready to go. They are trying to keep that perfect record on the night. Like you talked about, Frederick coming into tonight 6-1. They had a little road trip, had a little tournament out there, dropped 1 game. But they're, like you said, coming into tonight, clean slate, ready to go, and back at it.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. And as you were talking about, this team is super young for Standley Lake. We talked about Chloe Miller. I actually personally know Chloe a little bit. I've been to a few events that she has actually been a part of. She is genuinely a very sweet person, and it's one of those where it's kind of funny seeing someone that you know on like an opposing side, and it's almost like you get an entirely new look at somebody. Even just watching her during warm-ups, she brings this certain ferocity to the team that, as we see these freshmen, every single one of them are currently bringing as we're watching them warm up. Each one coming to the table with a new set of ferocity and physicality overall that we just honestly don't see a lot at this level.
Yeah, I agree. You're just coming in tonight with, I hope not with more fire than Frederick, but Frederick, they're coming with that loss, so they're definitely going to be trying to get that back. Yeah. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Frederick just needs to just dominate everything. Boards, quick transitions, 3 points. They got to hit everything. If not, you're going to let the Standley Lake team run all over you. They're averaging 25 points in the first quarter. So
yes, they come out swinging, that's for sure.
You got to have a quick start, which this Frederick girls team last season was not known for starting quick. They were pretty slow through the first quarter. They kind of started picking up in the second, then really second half is where they found their footing. But this Standley Lake team is quite the opposite. They're in the first half. They're dominating. And then they get to that second half. They don't really need to put up points because their starters are probably out of the game by then because they're up by so much. So this team, pretty evenly matched, I would say, but it's going to definitely be a shootout tonight for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, just something interesting that, even as we're watching warm-ups that I am noticing, it's just how each team comparatively with one another, how they're warming up. Because sometimes warm-ups can predetermine your overall mentality going into this game. And I think Frederick, I think a big piece of their mentality is the fact that I believe they do not have anybody injured at the moment, and they do have the junior, Izzy Howard, back. I'm not sure if she's starting tonight. We do not have confirmation on whether the sharpshooting Izzy Howard is going to be starting, but we do know we see her out there. She's warming up, and number 5 hopefully is going to get the playing time that she deserves. Unfortunately, I forgot which game it was last season, but her season was cut short due to an injury, pretty severe, and so she's had to kind of use this building block mentality to just kind of build her way back up to even being able to be out here tonight.
Yeah, that was a really rough injury to watch. I was up here, it was me and Jackson actually calling that game, and that was so hard to watch. Just such a tough player like Izzy Howard. She was leading the team in 3 points last year, just shooting. She was off the charts. She was going insane. And then just one drive, one plant, and her season ended just like that. So I'm excited to see her come back, see her play, and hopefully she goes and lights it up tonight for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Obviously, nothing but wishing her the best for tonight. And, I talked with some people who are close to her, and she is very nervous going into this game, and very understandable, too. I mean, coming off of a huge injury last season and only now being able to play as, you're 7 games into the season.
You kind of have to relearn how to do everything, especially with an ACL injury. You have to relearn how to walk. You got to relearn how to jump. And for playing a sport like basketball, you got to be so quick. You got to have that mentality just to go attack every play. She basically has to relearn everything that she knew from whenever she started playing to now. So it's incredible to see her journey to come back, and then first game back, she's definitely going to have that in the back of her head, kind of like, uh-oh, if I land wrong, what's going to happen? But I think she's got to play with confidence tonight and just go at it, attack the basket, and just do what she does best.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Couldn't have said it better. And talking a little bit more on the ACL injury, my dad actually tore his ACL skiing. I'm not quite sure how long, but I would say it was a good 6 or 7 years ago from now. And he had to relearn so many different things, and just it takes so much out of you whenever, you're going and you're doing all these physical things that you haven't been able to do for so long. It's so strenuous on your leg. And it's one of those where, you go see trainers and you go and you do PT, and still sometimes it's just not enough, especially like mentally. It nags at you constantly.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the hardest injuries to return from, for sure, especially at this young of an age, too.
Yes.
You still have your pretty much, if you're going to go on to play your collegiate level or the rest of your season on to a next level, it's definitely something that you kind of have to think about prior injuries, and people are going to note that now. This Izzy coming off a big injury, she was one of the best sharpshooters on the team, and now what are they going to do? Well, how are they going to cover her now, because they don't know how confident she's going to be? But I believe that she's going to come into tonight same way she was before she left, coming in firing, doing whatever she got to do to win tonight's game for that team.
Yeah, she's also going to have to monitor herself just as much as I know she wants to come out swinging, and as she should. That's the hard thing, is finding that balance between taking care of yourself both mentally and physically, and also recognizing, hey, I can go up, I can shoot this 3, I can find the block, I can pass. It's just a matter of finding that balance.
Yeah, you got to get your get back. Come back strong.
Exactly. As after some brief technical difficulties, we finally got the national
they got it
anthem
going.
working.
They got it going.
As Ian, what are your keys to this game here in a minute? As we're going to send it down to the sideline with Esperanza.
Thank you, Carly. I'm Esperanza, and I'm down here on the sideline where our Golden Eagles are preparing to go against Standley Lake. We're expecting a good game from them since they have won 6 games and only lost 1.
Number 32, MacHendrie.
And thank you so much for that, Esperanza. As I was talking about before, Ian, what are some of your keys to this game tonight?
Yeah, for sure. My first key, limit the freshmen. We talked about them all pregame. These 3 freshmen are the starting team. This is that team. That is that team for Standley Lake. Limit them. Don't let them do anything. They lead. All 3 of them lead in some sort of stat on this team, so we got to make sure that we limit them and keep them covered. Don't let them get some free shots, which leads into my second opportunity, second key, quick in transition. Win the transition battle. We got to get down the court, open up the shots, make stuff happen. Both of these teams are very, very fast in transition. You see a basket's made, and the next team's already coming down the court. So you got to make sure that if you're Frederick, you got to make this opposing team tired. You got to make them work. They're coming into your house. They were just on a long bus ride. So you've got to make them tired. You got to make them want it more than you do.
Exactly. Make them fight for it.
And last but not least, win the battle of the boards. This team gets a lot of boards from Standley Lake. They do exactly what they need to do on offense and defense. So Frederick has to win those battles. I'm looking towards Micah Thompson. She is coming in for one of the biggest roles of Kaylee Gardner last year, which was getting boards. Her coming into tonight is going to be the most important part of this offense and defense for Frederick, is winning the battle of the boards. If you do win it, set up open shots, make plays happen. That's how I believe that we can win this game tonight, Carly.
And I believe that we will win, as the rowdy crowd likes to put it. And not to mention, I see Izzy Howard in the starting 5 at the moment over on the bench. So this is huge for Frederick.
She's back.
Number 2, a junior. A senior, number 3, a senior, number 4, in her return to the court, a junior, number 5, Izzy Howard. And a senior, number 23,
As it's great to see this team huddled all together. This is the exact mentality that Frederick has needed, is all of them being together, and having Izzy back, that's crucial.
Yeah, for sure. The starting lineup graphic's a little outdated now that Izzy's back.
We were not planning
But
on this.
that was a last-minute change. I was expecting Emma Hansen to start the game, actually, instead of Addie Strojan. But Strojan is one of my key players coming in tonight. She's been so dominant for this team. She has done exactly everything she needs to do and has definitely earned this role in the starting 5. As we'll see how tonight goes, Thompson and Miller on the tip. 2 of the biggest key athletes for both sides for tonight's match.
Thompson, Miller both go up, and Standley Lake will start with possession of the ball. Standley Lake looking to find a little bit of movement. Pass back to Miller. Miller back. Thompson trying to block. Strojink. Cassidy back to Miller. Miller stepped out. That'll be Frederick's ball.
Yeah, quick moving Standley Lake. They're trying to get open, trying to make mismatch happen. But Frederick staying strong, staying in their positions, marking their man. And that ball just a little too far. Miller didn't realize where she was on the court, stepped out of bounds. Now we'll see Frederick bring it up the floor, trying to do something with it.
Rivera hurls it to Strojan. Strojan goes up early, manages to grab her own rebound. That's actually something that Strojan is excellent at. She's been a prominent figure whenever it comes to rebounds and rescuing the ball. She's averaging almost 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I was just about to say 9.5 rebounds and also 8.5. So she is so close to the double-double, which actually JoJo Martin is averaging this season for Standley Lake, a double-double, which is insane at the high school level.
Agreed. Torres trying to find separation, finds Howard in the corner. Howard being guarded by Cassidy closely as Howard will go up and get the second points of the evening.
She's back. Nice little drop step. Tried to spot it up, didn't see it. Took it to the lane, does what she does with her height. Off the finger roll into the back of the net.
So now Frederick leading by 2, as that'll just be a handoff to Martin. Martin getting bodied, blocked by both Howard and Torres, and that'll send her to the line.
Yeah, to the line goes Martin, playing physical, trying to get down low, win the offensive battle towards the boards, and then Frederick just a little non-disciplined there, gave up the foul. Martin goes to the line to shoot 2.
And Martin's so disciplined at the line, which is terrifying in itself, especially in some of these crucial moments. You know, obviously early on, don't necessarily have to worry about just her ferocity at the line, but something to keep in mind if you're Frederick for later on. And bricks the second as Howard will snag the rebound, hand it off to Rivera. Rivera hurls it to Strojan. Strojan has separation, but Miller guarding her closely with the swat. Both Martin and Miller trying to keep possession for Standley Lake.
Frederick quick in transition. I've seen Addie Strojan in the Standley Lake paint more often than not, and she just tries to get that rebound and she tries to put one up, but gets blocked by Miller, who's so much faster on the back pedal trying to return, not allow any points being scored.
Exactly. As that'll be Rivera with the rebound, trying to shake off Martin. Instead, stumbles over her own footing, and the ball will just go soaring out of bounds as Standley Lake will regain possession once again. This game only a 1-point difference.
Frederick a little too quick in transition right now, not controlling the pace of the game, trying to move too fast, trying to do exactly what they need to do. They just need to control the ball, slow it down a little bit, make the opportunities fall.
As Coronado got it to Miller. Miller back to Coronado. Coronado for the 3. And that was quite the air ball early on as Martin trying to keep it in possession for Miller. And that'll bring them back to the line, a place already that they know so commonly this game.
Yeah, good job by Martin to keep that ball in. Miller tried to go up, and then Rivera just got caught in the arm there, got the foul. And we'll see Miller shoot these 2 free throws as she bricks the first one.
See her teammates trying to instill a little bit more confidence in her. Second shot is up, and it is good. This game is all knotted up as Thompson quickly gets it back to Rivera. Rivera being double teamed by both Martin and Miller.
Yeah, this is something I noticed. I was looking at Standley Lake coming in tonight against their loss again, or not their loss, sorry, against their win against Centaurus. They were so dominant on the full court press. That is what they do so well, is they push the full court press. They make your team have to work it up the court, which then ultimately turns into a turnover battle. And Frederick, one of the most turned over team, they got to find a way to limit these turnovers. They got to win against this press, kind of chuck it down the floor. We've seen this a lot for this girls team last year.
Rivera, ball gets snatched from underneath her as Miller able to grab it back to Martin and just overshot to Venezuela.
Venezuela, great ball opportunity there. Great job by Ireland Cassidy, who got that ball out of Rivera's hands, and then immediately she turned around to go play defense. She didn't even know she jarred the ball loose.
As Howard back in possession with it, trying to shake off Coronado. Gets it back to Torres. Torres searching, trying to find any openings, but they are so good at this press. Trying to make a little bit of separation, and Martin snatches it. Making strides, and will go down and score. Standley Lake now up by 2.
This is something Miller also does so well. Steals it, takes it down, takes it herself. That's how she has so many points on this season. And again, we see Miller do it again. Or sorry, Martin do it again.
As Martin, my goodness, almost unstoppable. As Howard back to Strojing. Strojing has a little bit of separation. Valenzuela getting physical. Coronado, Strojing for the jump ball.
Yeah, this Standley Lake team, 13 steals per game, Carly. Double-digit steals, which is crazy. You got to be able to limit that. If you are this Frederick offense, you got to get down the field so much, or down the court so much faster. But they're just pressing them so high up the court that they're not able to move really anywhere. As we see Rickman sub into the game for Strojan.
So Torres with possession. Tries to find separation. Bounces it back to Rickman, but Rickman obviously had her hands on Valenzuela. So had to kind of recuperate to get it back. Rivera to Torres. Torres driving, going underneath. Thompson able to recover the rebound. Rickman back to Torres. Torres, my goodness, they are not allowing any separation with this man coverage.
This perimeter defense is holding Frederick out of the paint, which is where they dominate so well in.
As Torres back to Rivera for the 3. Bang! The sharpshooter herself, Emma Rivera.
Emma Rivera slips loose off the Torres cut. Leaves her wide open in the corner, and you can't do that when it's Emma Rivera shooting the ball 3 for 3. Gets Frederick the lead, and a turnover quickly there for Frederick trying to win it back.
So that'll be Castley. Never mind. They'll have a sub. That'll be Sammy Heath now in for Coronado. As Heath back to Castley. Castley hits the spin cycle back to Heath. Heath overthrown to Martin.
Yeah, Martin has that mismatch height. She was open down low. She's trying to get that win. And she just wants the ball right in her hand. It was just a little too far ahead of her. Gives the ball right back to Frederick.
Howard in possession. Dumps it back to Torres. Torres almost gets bodied as she manages to get it to Rickman. And Rickman, Thompson fought for that one. Trying to go head-to-head against Ireland Castley.
As it looks like it was a jump ball call.
Yeah, it looks like there was a little bit of confusion. Looks like they thought they were going to the line.
Yeah, they were looking to see if it was an over-the-back call on Miller, but it was not.
They were eager, I'll give them that.
Quite a few jump balls already. The physicality from both teams showing early here in the first 5 minutes.
As Ireland Castley gets it quickly to Chloe Miller. Miller back to Martin. Martin back to Castley. Castley being closely guarded by Rickman. Beautiful coverage defensively as they will just take the shot and nowhere close to where they need to be. Castley driving. Also comes up short. Martin, third time, not the charm. As my goodness.
No foul call.
No call whatsoever.
As they called a jump ball there, Carly. Frederick ball.
Man, Martin was not happy with that. Obviously, it looked like maybe a shoulder to the face because she got swung down. But Frederick going to retain possession.
Yeah, tightly contested in the paint there. As this Gators team does so well, they come in tonight with 35 rebounds per game. They are so good off the glass, and Frederick keeping pace with them right now. I liked what I'm seeing from this team.
Agreed. This is a pretty even matchup so far from what we've seen. Just got to keep up that consistency as Torres drives, gets it to Thompson. Thompson to Rivera. Rivera to Rickman. Rickman shoots.
Oof.
Not exactly the ideal as to what they were looking for, as this will be Spindler. Spindler trying to get it, but way overthrown for Castley. And that'll be Frederick's ball.
Very, very, very physical play. Very quick play by both sides, trying to open up the opportunity to score. But both teams really struggling in transition right now, which they both exceed in so well. It just shows when you put two Goliaths against each other, it's not a pretty sight. 5-4, the score right now.
Torres drives underneath. Can she get it? No. Martin able to recover the rebound. Gets it back to Castley. Castley finds Miller in the corner. And she can't shoot either right now. My goodness, this entire team kind of losing their footing.
Ice cold right now from both sides.
Howard finds Torres. Torres for the three. No good once again. Martin with another rebound. She has been on fire already.
I mean, she averages 11 a game.
Miller, and that'll be her get back. Miller with the three.
Yeah, you don't want to leave her open like that. She will make you pay, and that is exactly what they did there. That's something I wrote down in my notes, too. You cannot allow her to get open.
Yeah, way too much separation there. If you're Frederick, just closely knit and closely guarding.
Couple substitutions by both sides. Strojan comes in for Thompson, which I think is a fair substitution. They both rebound pretty well, so get your starting center a little bit of rest. Hansen as well checks in.
As we see Stone hand it to Torres. Torres, that'll be no good, right underneath the basket. Venezuela moving, finds Coronado, who's back in the game. Coronado with a little flick of the wrist.
Nice floater as Hansen is floating down the court open. Frederick just can't get that pass through.
Yeah, that was a tight window as Hansen, ball gets deflected mid-air. Hansen obviously not happy with that.
Yeah, she didn't see Miller coming. JoJo Miller does it again with the block. So Frederick really has to figure out how they're going to get open and get these shots to fall.
As Stone searching for an opening, very tight window. As Frederick, they've got to backpedal, recuperate themselves. Torres with possession, trying to find room, finds Stone on the outside. Stone gets it to Rickman. Rickman, no room whatsoever. Finds a bit of separation, would have been a deep three if she made it, as Martin once again off the glass. And she'll just shoot. No good.
As a foul called on Standley Lake as Frederick was trying to push the pace down the court. Both sides are ice cold from the three today. Frederick has one make. I believe Standley Lake as well has one make from the arc.
Yeah, and it was just our very own Emma Rivera.
It's hard right now for both sides because they're being locked down to work the perimeter. They can't get down low in the paint like both teams really like to do. We've only seen really open opportunities in the paint when each team kind of leaks through and lets something happen. But right now, both teams pressing very hard on defense.
I agreed. I mean, that right there, perfect demonstration of the physicality that Standley Lake is bringing with that jump ball. I mean, Rickman, cornered, obviously can't go anywhere, and no separation whatsoever for any of her other teammates.
Yeah, she just can't get the ball down the court like they want to. They're not being allowed to push the pace, which is really hurting Frederick right now.
As Valenzuela with possession finds Heath. Heath to Coronado in the corner. Coronado back to Heath. Heath searching for room. Back to Coronado. Coronado will take the shot. And Stone, looked like there was a bit of a collision between Strojan and Stone. And bang, bang, that'll be two on the day.
Frederick is struggling, trying to get their boards. They had a couple there where they could have won the ball back, and this didn't.
As Rickman for the deep three, and it is no good. As unfortunate as that was, and Ian, as you put it, Frederick right now not looking to the level that we kind of anticipated going into this game. I mean, talking with them, they were very confident, obviously, with anything. You know, you get your last-minute game jitters, but just one of those where I'm kind of expecting them to shoot more, but they haven't had the separation in order to even, you know, pass, quite frankly.
Yeah, they're struggling right now. Frederick really needs to find a way to just open up the score sheet. They just got to get on the board and ultimately just try to win the possession battle. Yeah, both sides just really struggling beyond the arc like we talked about. But ultimately, it's just a battle of the transition. Who can get down the court faster and who cannot let the ball slip is what it seems like right now. And both sides have really struggled with that right now. So we got to figure out what Frederick is going to do here to try to just come out and dominate.
And that's something that they need so desperately right now. I mean, right now it's one of those where you're down by, looks like 7. You're down by 7, and obviously not a very considerable difference between the two, but something that does kind of make you pause, reconsider, and say, hey, how do we need to step up?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
As Torres gets it to Rivera, and Rivera way off the mark. That's been another problem, actually, tonight early on.
Passing, they got to find a way to hit. Torres was cutting, and then Rivera just saw her late, and that pass just was a little in front. And Standley Lake was able to chomp down on it.
As Miller, using her height to her advantage, gets a hand on the ball. This will give Torres an opportunity to bring it into play for Frederick. But Miller, and my goodness, don't know how Martin didn't get a swat on that ball as Rivera, the do-it-herself handy woman, tacks on another 2 for Frederick, as now this lead is boiled down a bit. And Venezuela trying to kind of bounce back. If you're Standley Lake, finally the passing on par, shooting not so much.
Yeah, they're just quick in transition like they're used to, but they just can't find a way to do anything.
As Valenzuela 0 for 2 on this drive so far for Standley Lake, been struggling a little bit with her shooting, as Rivera being closely guarded by Martin. Howard with possession. Back to Torres. Torres being closely guarded by Coronado.
Miller.
My goodness.
Another swat. She is in
She's nasty.
every passing lane known to man right now for Frederick.
Yeah, she's been nasty so far here tonight. As Rivera back to a wide open Howard. No other lanes as she drives, and man, she has to be careful on that leg. As Standley Lake tries to do a little bit of something, and they will do a little bit of something, as this will send Standley Lake to the line. The exact opposite of what Frederick needs right now, momentum-wise.
Yeah, that was a little iffy on the call there, Carly, I will say. They kind of sold that one just a bit.
Yes.
But they'll go to the line, shoot those free throws.
As first one, no good. Prepping for the second one. As Strojink way too far off that outside, and Frederick not exactly very happy. Coach Hansen, he is not pleased right now with these refs. Looks like there was a bit of a commotion. Said that, I believe he's trying to make the call that Standley Lake got a hand on the ball before it went out of bounds.
I mean, I talked about Hansen a lot and how he respects his team. He will fight for this team.
Yes, he will.
No matter what. We have seen him get ejected from a game once, so Hansen's got to be a little careful. He's got that little known reputation to be a little fiery.
Yes, fiery indeed, which is not necessarily a bad trait to have if you fight for your team. As somehow finds a bit of separation in the middle, and Martin will go down hard on her head. Her teammates making sure she's okay, as that was kind of a nasty bump to the back of the cranium.
Yeah, she's fine. She'll get back up and shoot those free throws.
She did get back up, that's for sure, as she will not be sent to the line, which is interesting. As Miller finds Martin once again, and Martin, this time, she will go to the line. Howard already on her second foul of the night. So they have to be careful. Looks like they're going to sub her out for Rickman.
Yeah, she's already got 2 fouls. You don't want to be in foul trouble this early in the game.
No.
So we'll see Miller shoot this extra, try to get the and one tack on.
As Martin with the swish. Rivera with possession. Driving. Finds Strojink. Middle of the court. Rivera somehow keeps possession. Back to Rickman. Bang, bang. That's 2. Is that 2? That's 2 on the day for Frederick.
Rickman making her presence known, back on the court for the first time. She didn't play last year, but she's back now.
Yes, she is. She is indeed back. And with that, that makes it very well known. As, man, Standley Lake, it looks like they're letting a little bit of the frustration really get to them right now.
Yeah, Frederick just did not rebound that ball very well, trying to get down the court fast. and just didn't get anywhere with it. And they gave that ball right back to Standley Lake, and Standley Lake gets that inbound with the foul. Frederick not playing very disciplined right now. Got to stay composed if you're Frederick.
As Valenzuela finds Miller in the corner. Miller back to Martin. Martin back to a wide open Valenzuela, whose shots were not falling earlier, but now they are indeed, as that'll be another points tacked on for Standley Lake, making this an 8-point difference.
Yeah, another three from Valenzuela. She's just so dominant from beyond the arc, as Frederick will get that call for a push in the back that time.
I mean, that was a nasty cut from Rivera, but just one of those where right now physically it's just, I feel like both teams right now are not on the par that they need to be. I think Standley Lake is almost too much. But, I mean, obviously it's paid off for them, so too much might be a little debatable. And Frederick just isn't enough.
Frederick trying to get that pick and roll action going. They just can't find a way to get these passing lanes connecting.
As Miller drives, my goodness, no call.
As they call a blocking foul.
Wow,
on
she
Strojan.
is smiling on that one. I mean, Hansen, he is fired up from that one.
Yeah, Hansen is not happy with that one. Those are the calls that are so tough, especially
Yes.
with no replay
Yes.
at all. You can't really tell what really happened. And
I mean, the frustrating thing is the refs played directly into what Miller wanted. I mean, you saw her kind of with the sly smirk to the side, and I mean, it's hard to hide it whenever you get the call that you exactly intended to get, right?
I mean, Martin did exactly what
Miller.
Miller did exactly what she wanted to do, and that was drive right at Strojan. Strojan wasn't expecting it, so I understand why she wasn't set, and I understand why they didn't call the blocking or the charging foul there, because she was not set and she was not ready for it.
Agreed. As Torres will somehow give it right back to Standley Lake.
Torres, who has been kind of ice cold today. She's led this team with points, 13.8 per game so far with the stats that we know are recorded, because there has been a few games. I think this most recent tournament, the stats haven't been fully updated yet for them. But she's kind of ice cold. I don't think she's made a shot yet, Carly. It's been a struggle for Frederick offensively.
Yeah, I do not believe she has been quite the sharpshooter that we've seen her become before, which is frustrating if you're Frederick, because right now you need your most sharpshooting players and teammates. That's exactly who they're going to lean on right now.
Yeah, Standley Lake with the timeout there, just kind of controlling the pace now. They know
Yes.
they're up by 9. They've only allowed Frederick to score 5 points so far in both quarters. So they are pretty dominant right now, playing to the level that they would like to be at, but I think they would like to be a little bit farther ahead of that level, averaging the 25 points per game in the first quarter. Only 12 was scored in that first quarter.
So kind of an impressive stand, right? If you're Frederick, to say, hey, a team that averages 20 plus points in that first quarter, you know, we held them to below 15. So a bit of a flex if you're Frederick, but it just feels like maybe they got tired out early on because of that.
Yeah, I mean, now they're kind of finding the way to just dominate Frederick, which is getting to the boards, which is, like you said, tiring out Frederick, because Frederick's not able to get downhill and try to cover up what's happening.
As Cassilly with possession back to Valenzuela, who we saw with the three-point arcing shot earlier. Back to Heath. Heath heaves it to Martin. JoJo Martin, who we've seen been so good. As looks like that's Cassilly trying to get a shot. Torres getting all up in her face. She is not allowing an ounce of separation. As that'll get back to Heath. Heath spins around, finds Martin. Martin dump off back underneath to Senna. Back to Martin. Martin drives, finds Valenzuela in the corner. Valenzuela takes the shot. And Torres, excuse me, that was Rickman. Rickman able to grab it. Back to a wide open Torres. Can they get the shot? And the shot does not land. My goodness, this is frustration on all sides.
Torres going to the line, though. This is where you can get uncold, if in a sense, if that makes sense. Get warm from the free throw line. These are the easiest shots that you could possibly get in a game, besides maybe a wide open layup. Try to get her rhythm back going, and she can't with the first free throw.
Honestly, I think this is, you know, watching some of the game clips in particular, this is probably the most jarred I think I've seen her. quite frankly.
Yeah, she's just been a little off of her game, but she drops that one. Try to get Frederick back into this game.
As that'll be Cassidly, who has possession. Back to Valenzuela. Very soft coverage right now from Frederick, as they're going to find Senna in the corner. Back to Cassidly. Cassidly driving, trying to shake off Rickman, as she'll get the ball back to Martin. Wide open shot, and that'll fall. Standley Lake.
They're hitting their shots now. You can't leave them open, or that's going to happen. They are hitting, and hitting.
Yes, they are. Bang after bang, as Torres see the visible, audible sound of frustration with the clap of the hands and the dang.
Yeah, she's a little frustrated. That was a wide open layup, and she just couldn't get going. She's just struggling right now to get points. But what you got to do in that situation, you got to start looking to pass. You got to start making the rest of the team start hitting their shots. And then once they're in a groove, then you can start feeding into that, and you might start hitting some of your shots too. It's just how Frederick is going to play the rest of this half is just going to be very interesting to see what they do.
Agreed. As Strojink, they're backed up in that corner once again. Rivera trying to find room. Back to Strojink. Strojink tosses it back to Rivera. These two are just playing pinball at this point. That'll go back to Torres.
Frederick doing a lot of cutting. They're trying to get down low, trying to open up those lanes.
There's nothing right now. As Rivera snaking through the middle, finds a bit of separation, takes the shot. It'll be no good, but Strojink able to quickly recuperate with that rebound. As Rivera, Martin watching her closely, making sure she doesn't get a shot, as Rivera will go up.
Well, she'll draw the foul, as I thought she was going to kick that to Rickman in the corner, who was sitting wide open. No man's land out there, but instead she goes to the line, and she's going to shoot two. Trying to open up her stat sheet.
Yeah, stats have honestly been a little limited here tonight. I mean,
11 points from Frederick, as Rivera can't hit the first. That's been kind of the story of the night so far. Nobody can hit that first well-awaited free throw. See what she can do here on the second opportunity.
And Rivera's second shot.
As they're going to say, Chloe Miller went early, so the bucket will count. But Miller went off the line.
Yeah, you can tell she's not happy about that call. But, I mean, that just comes down to poise and elegance during the game. It's almost like whenever you get, like, a false start in football. It's like it just comes down to poise. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, you just got to play disciplined.
Exactly.
Frederick warming up some substitutions. Stone ready to come in.
As that'll get back to Martin. Martin finds Coronado. Coronado, little dump off underneath to Cassidly. Back to Coronado, who takes the shot. And Thompson will go flying up for that rebound. But Standley Lake with possession. Miller trying to make up for that call on her.
Thompson picked it back up.
Thompson off the back of her hand manages to find Rivera behind her. As once again, they are stuck in the exact same place. These lanes are not open. So Rivera trying to do the handy woman thing that she does and take it herself.
Yeah, Rivera's trying to take over. Miller slicing and dicing right through Frederick defense.
JoJo Martin has been on par tonight, that is for sure. She's sharpshooting under the basket, everywhere around the basket and in between. Rickman, Coronado intercepts.
One-hand interception. Thompson playing till the end of the whistle there, trying to play smart. It is a battle for possession right now, and Frederick down 12. So they have come out of this half and just put on the gas pedal. They're on a 12-7 run. Standley Lake is dominating this second quarter.
Yeah, domination is honestly an understatement, as once again, right below that basket, bang, bang, 12-26, a 14-point difference.
As JoJo Martin has entered takeover, ladies and gentlemen, she is just doing everything in her power to score. Every possibility as Frederick takes one of their timeouts, trying to get the momentum back in their favor. You are down 14. So it is a 14-7 run. That this,
14 points, my goodness.
this run is, this team is stuck in the hole. Frederick has not been on the level that they usually are. But like we talked about, they start pretty slow in the first half, so we'll see how they pick it up in the second, trying to open up the stat sheet.
My only frustration is with this difference that grows, it's one of those where it was manageable. It was relatively manageable whenever it was a difference of 7 or 8 points. But then it's a matter of, well, when does it become unmanageable? And when does it become, break your neck, crane your neck kind of time period?
I've seen this girls team come back down 20. I think we'll be all right if we get the opportunity.
And Coronado once again back-to-back interceptions. My goodness, nobody over there. She is unstoppable here tonight.
Yeah, this team, like I said, averaging 13 steals a game. I think they're up to 8 or 9 already in the first half here. Shots just won't fall.
And Coronado.
Hansen fired up down there. He's trying to get his girls going.
Yes, he is. I mean, they need anything right now, especially before this buzzer here soon, as Miller back to Valenzuela. Valenzuela back to Martin. Martin back to Coronado. Coronado takes the shot. And that'll be no good, but Martin with the rebound. Coronado caught in between, as that'll be a snatch from Rickman. And wide open Peyton Stone.
Oh.
Coronado trying to look for a call. There'll be a no call. Thompson goes for the 3. Bang! That'll be 2 for Thompson.
Deep 2 from Micah Thompson.
Looked like a 3 off that outside, but she stepped oh so close. And they'll call it 2 for Thompson. Kind of catchy though, if you ask me. 2 for Thompson.
As Frederick ball, Martin gets the call for over the back. She is battling it out down low. Frederick down 14. 7 seconds to go here in this first half. Frederick's got to find their rhythm here, Carly.
Yes, they do indeed, as good ball to Thompson.
Rickman can't hit. That'll do it for the second quarter.
So lots of frustration, as you can tell, from this girls team. Just these shots have not been falling the way that they want them to. And more than anything, it just feels a little bit like the discipline is kind of not necessarily gone out the window, because that feels drastic. This team is still very disciplined, but it feels like maybe they're not performing the way that they want to be performing.
Yeah, it feels like a little sluggish right now from this team. They feel pretty sluggish is how we say it, and it's just been a hard-fought battle from Frederick right now. Down 14. Watching the boys warm up. Stay tuned for that coming up next. Me and Brielle on the call.
Yeah, that'll be another fun game though.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Haven't called the boys since I think it was JJ Strojan's legendary 53-13 3-point game.
Man, that game was crazy.
It was wicked. But
Wicked?
that team, wicked.
Like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande wicked?
No, not that wicked. It's an interesting first half here on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. Frederick has got to find a way to come into this second half and come out firing. They are just struggling to move the ball down the courts like they need to. And we'll just see what they're able to do as we can kind of look at the comparison from the two teams and how they look on the season. Record-wise, they both look very, very similar, but then you just get to points per game, assists per game, all these kind of stats, and Standley Lake just looks like they're dominating in every stat possible. But Frederick still finds a way to get through and win their games. Only one loss on the season, so they're trying not to get their second one tonight. Coming to this second half, firing, ready to go, make something happen for sure.
I think it's honestly really funny, looking over the stat sheet, and we talked about JoJo Martin so much that entire first half. I mean, she's leading in points per game with 25.5 points per game. She's leading in rebounds with 11 rebounds a game. She's leading with almost 6.5 steals per game. I mean, this girl, as a freshman, my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see how it's going tonight for her, who is dominating that pace.
As we're going to take a break real quick on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network, and then we will be right back into the action. Until then, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Kyle Michael here with Michael Real Estate and Remax Momentum, and I'm here at my office in downtown Frederick, Colorado. As a Colorado native and a resident to Frederick over the last 8 years, we truly understand the entire Carbon Valley and Colorado market. With offices in Frederick, Brighton, and Westminster, I covered the entire Front Range area. I've served over 130 families from Alt to Monument to Deer Trail to Grand Lake. As a small business owner myself, I understand how much time and effort it takes to be successful, which is why I continue to support local businesses, schools, and nonprofits through our Sip and Support series, coat drives, and other events. I value hardworking individuals. It is my mission to continue giving back as much as I can. We would love to serve you or your family. Give us a call, 303-944-4191, and go Golden Eagles.
Rocky students exist to build up the next generation, to live a life of purpose, influence, and faith. You see, we believe that when you discover purpose, you start to discover you have a reason to live. And when you discover you have a reason to live, you start to notice you have influence. And when you lean into that influence, you make an impact. This world needs people like you, the next generation, to discover your purpose and to decide today the leader you want to be tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Coach Matt Lloyd. I'm the head football coach at Frederick High School. You're watching the Golden Eagle Broadcasting Network. Golden Eagles, let them fly.
You've likely heard in the news that interest rates are way too high, homes are just not selling, and the real estate market is about to crash at any moment. Hi, I'm Kendra Badgekar, your local real estate expert, and I've been serving Carbon Valley and Northern Colorado for over 7 years, and I've got some good news. The truth is, there are several creative finance options to get your interest rate down to a much lower rate if you're thinking about buying a home. And yes, homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, but with the right marketing strategy, they are still selling for a great value, so your equity is safe. If you're thinking about making a move this year, let's grab a cup of coffee and talk about the best way to get you there.
Hey, I'm Jake Marsing, social studies teacher and advisor of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network, and you're watching GEBN. Go Golden Eagles!
Brielle readies herself. The button is within reach. Will she finish it off? Brielle, the button has been pushed, and the crowd goes wild. Standing ovation sent her way. Ladies and gentlemen, the easiest and most effective way to book since sliced bread became a thing. For all your heating and air needs, visit myguyheatingandair.com, a proud sponsor of GEBN. My Guy Heating and Air, honest and reliable.
Are you tired of paying rent or constantly moving from one place to another? LGI Homes has the solution for you. We offer affordable new homes with exceptional quality. With our simplified buying process and zero down options available, easily achieve the dream of homeownership and quickly move into your new home. At LGI Homes, we have it all, offering new homes complete with upgrades, designed to add style, value, and energy efficiency to your life. Find your new home today with LGI Homes.
Hey, Kyle Michael here with Michael Real Estate and RE/MAX Momentum, and I'm here at my office in downtown Frederick, Colorado. As a Colorado native and a resident to Frederick over the last 8 years, we truly understand the entire Carbon Valley and Colorado market. With offices in Frederick, Brighton, and Westminster, I covered the entire Front Range area. I've served over 130 families from Alt to Monument to Deer Trail to Grand Lake. As a small business owner myself, I understand how much time and effort it takes to be successful, which is why I continue to support local businesses, schools, and nonprofits through our Sip and Support series, coat drives, and other events. I value hardworking individuals. It is my mission to continue giving back as much as I can. We would love to serve you or your family. Give us a call, 303-944-4191, and go Golden Eagles.
Brielle readies herself. The button is within reach. Will she finish it off? Brielle, the button has been pushed, and the crowd goes wild. Standing ovation sent her way. Ladies and gentlemen, the easiest and most effective way to book since sliced bread became a thing. For all your heating and air needs, visit myguyheatingandair.com, a proud sponsor of GEBN. My Guy Heating and Air, honest and reliable. Welcome back in, everybody, to the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. My name is Carly Evans. Alongside me is Ian MacHendrie. As I apologize, I'm a little gassed. I just ran up the ladder, so.
I got a t-shirt.
Did you actually?
I did get a t-shirt. Shout out Stuco, hosting their little event for tonight, bringing in some McDonald's.
I did hear about that. There were a lot of people who were very hyped about that.
I did get some McDonald's too. So,
did you?
Very happy about that as we're starting the second half action.
As we're jumping straight into this action once again, same place we've always been. Miller with possession. Miller back to Casserly. Casserly back to Miller. Lots of separation for this team as Miller dumps it off to Valenzuela. Martin goes for the early shot as Thompson. Miller, my goodness. Martin and Miller are unstoppable at the moment.
It just seems like everywhere Frederick wants to go with it, there is a Standley Lake player there. Even when they get the rebounds, it's not even secured for him. Thompson got that rebound ripped right away from her, and Frederick had to try to run down the court as Ray Coronado again with that steal, and just Frederick is struggling to get that defensive board.
Yes, they really truly are just struggling. I think not really firing on all cylinders here as Strojink in possession drives and the nasty swat from Miller. As Martin just with the steal, my goodness.
Smart play by Martin not to touch it again.
Yes, I was going to say good call as Coronado goes for the shot outside the arc.
There's three Frederick defenders there trying to get the rebound, and they couldn't even get that, Carly. Frederick's struggling right now.
And, I mean, that's how frustrating, honestly, it's been for like that first half. It's one of those where as soon as you recognize with the separation, you know, where you need to be. As, man, I was mid-sentence and Casserly with the three.
Doing whatever she's got to do to put some points on the board. And, again, it's just straight domination against Frederick's efforts.
Yes, a 19-point difference now. Ian, when do you think that whole mark of, hey, either we substitute out our starters and just kind of recognize defeat / or, you know, the other side of it is, do we, you know, just double down? What do you think that point is? Is it 25 points? Is it 30?
I'd play until you think it's out of reach or there's not enough time to keep your starters in. I think if you get about halfway through the fourth quarter as not enough time for Frederick to game out that ball. I think if you get about halfway through the fourth quarter and your team is down big, you keep them out. But I think anything is possible with this girls' team. I've seen them do it before, so we'll see what they can do now.
Yeah, this girls' team, you know, I didn't get to call them, but you did, and so you know what they're capable of. As Coronado tried with the snatch, but Martin going to get a hand on it, and she will not let that go dribbling out of bounds. Rivera with her own swat at the ball.
There we go. That's the pace Frederick needs to play at. Like you said, I did get a call to the girls for a while there. That was mostly, I'll call it the Zoe Whitler era, and that was a special time for the girls basketball team.
Yes, it was. I mean, they went so far with that entire team. I mean, every single one of them were lethal weapons.
Oh, and a trip on Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson will go down. Valenzuela got a bit physical as Rivera in the corner trying to find separation. Coronado almost got a hand. Somehow Rivera gets the shot off, which in that case, honestly, impressive that she even got the shot.
Yeah, she was trying to do a little bit too much. I would have looked for a little passing lane there if I was Rivera, but it's hard. This team is coming in physical against Frederick's girls, and they're just not able to keep the pace with them right now.
As this will be Castley. Strojink following in pursuit as she gets right underneath to Miller. My goodness. Martin already jumping in with the early attempt for a swat as she is back up against Rivera's heels, biting once again as she does so well. Rivera, no separation whatsoever, somehow gets the hand. Back up to Thompson. Thompson.
Great read by Frederick there. That was exactly what they needed to do. They are struggling right now, Carly, to get some points on the board. That is their first points of the second half. This Standley Lake team is on a 7-2 run to start this second half, and they are just coming out swinging. And Frederick is really struggling. They just can't seem to open up the lanes like they want to. Everywhere that they want to be, there is a Gator there to snatch up the ball. Feels like you're wandering into a swamp, and then every step you take, there's just a Gator waiting for you.
It's true. We're back in Florida, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, there's Gators everywhere in Florida. My dad used to tell me stories. I do not recommend.
I don't disagree with that. I'm sure there is, but we're in the great state of Colorado here. No Gators here.
Yeah, I prefer Florida sometimes, that's for sure. As Castley with possession of the ball gets it to Coronado. Howard trying to get a hand as a wide open. My goodness, Miller still can't get the shot to land though, which is interesting. As Heath and Strojink, they'll go biting at each other's throats. And Strojink will keep possession.
It is so interesting how Frederick is playing the second half. JoJo Miller, or JoJo Martin, is the girl to beat right now if you're Frederick. So they're double teaming her down low, which is leaving Miller wide open in the corner. I'm shocked she missed that three. I am thankful she missed that three, but very shocked that she did, because it's just something Frederick is trying to do. They're trying to double team her to not allow Martin to score, but you're going to have to be able to cover whoever is going to be that left open person, which on this Gators team, you don't really want to leave any of them open as Rivera cuts through.
Yeah, Rivera driving. My goodness. As she's been another big name, she's kind of gotten started a little bit more this second half, which has been good for her. As Howard fighting for that rebound. Excuse me, that jump ball is.
It'll be a Gator ball.
Howard looks a little shaken up. Looks like she might have smacked the tip of her nose, maybe the bridge.
Ah, she's good. She'll shake it off.
She'll shake it off, though. I was going to say, she's a tough cookie. As Martin, my goodness, JoJo Martin, there's a reason she's a top contender, leaderboard-wise, for all assets.
As everything that is going wrong, everything that can go wrong is going wrong for Frederick right now. As this lead just keeps extending. It's almost 20 points, Carly. It's just getting to the point where Frederick has to fight back. They're going to have to get more physical, which then gets to the point where you might start getting into foul trouble, which gets you into the point where you're not going to have much of your starters.
Yes, that is true. I mean, Howard already sitting at 2, which is, dangerous given whenever she got the 2, but now I think you're more than comfortable with letting her play, as that'll be Frederick's ball.
As that was a very interesting Frederick dynamic. It looked like right as Martin touched the ball, they all crashed onto her, tried not to let her score, which is honestly not a bad idea. You overwhelm her, make her make a mistake, and that is exactly what happened. But she just has that height advantage over literally any of the Frederick players right now, where she can just put her hand up and get the ball away.
Yes, she does, as Howard sets it back to Stone. Stone! That would have been outside the arc, which is the crucial 3 that Frederick needs, as Coronado snagged the rebound, dumps it back off to Martin. Somehow one of the few misses that she's had tonight, as it'll just come flying back out of the rim.
It seems like every single time Frederick gets a rebound, Standley Lake's right there with them. They're grabbing that ball too. So basically every time Frederick gets a rebound, you barely get that jump ball because it goes back and forth every possession, every jump ball that is called. So they got lucky with that one to get the possession back.
Rickman, don't know how she got that off. Thompson coming up big, making this only a 17-point difference, a little bit more manageable. Every inch counts toward that mile, so.
Yeah, you got to just go, oh my goodness, Rivera.
Heath, nasty stutter step. As that'll go back to Martin, back to Valenzuela, back to Coronado.
Perimeter.
Right now they're just running that perimeter, and it looks like they're honestly just doing drills.
Perimeter rotation, making Frederick miss communication, and a great play by Martin.
As that'll go back to Martin. Coronado tried to bang the 3, and that'll be no good.
Oh.
Martin, my goodness. I'm telling you, she's breathing down their necks. It's insane.
They're crashing at every opportunity. Anytime Frederick breathes near the ball, they are crashing onto it offensively, and they are just making Frederick have to work for every possession, every dribble. It's just become such a fight for Frederick.
And I think that's the frustrating thing if you're Frederick is the Gators, there may only be 5 of them, but it feels like there's infinitely more of them on the court, just the way that they're moving around. As Rivera won't get it to fall, but she'll regain possession. Howard back to Rickman, a wide open Stone. Doesn't take the shot the way that she wanted. That kind of fell weird out of her wrist. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she slipped. She tried to get the step up, tried to step into the shot, and then just didn't go the way she wanted it to. But great job by Frederick to make that extra pass, but just an even better job by the Gators just rotating around, making sure someone is somewhere near a Frederick player at all times.
Yeah, that didn't float exactly how Stone wanted. Kind of sunk. As that'll be Cena. Back to Heath. Heath back to Miller. Miller finds Castley. Castley back to Heath. Heath, my goodness. We talked about that whole perimeter passing. That's exactly what they're doing here. As Heath will go for the shot way too high.
Yeah, they're facilitating this offense right now, especially Chloe Miller, who is just telling everyone where they need to be. She said, cut, you cut. She just knows exactly everything. Rivera,
my goodness, the powerhouse that she has been. I think, honestly, she's been the offense here tonight for Frederick. That and a bit of the defense, too.
Yeah, once again, gets the and one. There, has to capitalize on this critical and one opportunity where Standley Lake hasn't scored in a minute, Carly. They're kind of struggling to get the ball in the net. So this is where Frederick gets that comeback. They got to fight down low with a lead that was almost 19, which was 19. Drops to 15, but Frederick gets that board.
Rivera, can she make it happen again? No, she can't. Lots of frustration down here tonight. As that is very interesting. They'll call the foul on Thompson.
Over the back again on Micah Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson very frustrated, obviously. Kind of slammed the ball down a little bit, but got to keep that composure.
Only her first.
As that'll be Martin. Back to Coronado. Coronado back to Cena. Cena somehow finds a wide open Valenzuela. Valenzuela. The shot falls beautifully. My goodness. This is a difference of 18 now. So back up to that point that we saw earlier. I think the most points we've seen between the two of them has been 19. And it has stayed consistently in between that 15 to 19 range for this second half.
Yeah, Frederick had a chance to get it down to 13. But there, as you see again, Frederick just can't capitalize on those opportunities that are getting handed to him. They just got to find a way to get something to go.
Agreed. As
Joe Miller.
that'll go flying in the wrong direction, thanks to the one, the only.
She reminds me of Cameron Brink, WNBA player now. She played, I believe, I think she played for UConn. She kind of had that braided style hair like she does, but she plays just like her. So physical, so tall, plays with her height.
And once again, my goodness, can she be stopped? I honestly don't think so at this point.
Yeah, that was scary.
And it's not even necessarily how tall she inherently is. Yes, that plays into it. But, I mean, are we seeing her vertical right now? For someone as tall as that, I mean, her vertical is almost as impressive as her height.
I don't even think she jumped on that one, Carly. I'm going to be honest. I think
Did she
got
not?
on her tiptoes to block it.
I mean, I'm sure my vantage point might be a little bit lower than yours.
It is hard to tell from here, but it did not look like she got full air on that. I think if she really could.
Maybe short air. How about that? We'll call it short air.
I think if she really could, I think she could possibly get up and touch the rim, maybe dunk.
That's what I'm kind of feeling.
She has such a tall vertical. Rivera's got to get rid of it.
Yeah, she's very springy. That's a good way to put it. As Stone gets caught up in traffic. Look who has it again. JoJo Martin going. And she is gone. Does it herself once again. A 20-point difference now.
She is so fast with the ball in her hands, just flying down the court. Oh. Bye-bye, Miller.
And there is Emma. Emma Hansen getting her get back. As this is exactly the motivation that Frederick needed. With the last-ditch effort shot. No good. All right, so a little bit more manageable now. We're looking at an 18-point difference. Manageable-ish.
Yeah, it's manageable, but it's to the point where you're starting to hang your head a little bit. You kind of want this game to be over, but you know whatever you do, you got to fight back. You got to make sure that this game is still in reach for your team. And Frederick right now, like you said, only down 18. Could be worse, but it could also be better. So Frederick just has to find a way. Stay resilient, stay strong. This is a huge fourth quarter. I've seen this team make plays going into a fourth quarter with a charge that was led by Zoe Whitler that one night against Mountain View. But this team, they don't have Zoe Whitler anymore. They don't have Kaylee Gardner. This team is a new era for Frederick basketball. This is a new team, a new force to be reckoned with. And I think the biggest key of this offense tonight that needs to go off, Torres needs to find her rhythm. Thompson needs to find her rhythm. Rivera just has to make those shots that she's getting. There are great looks from Rivera. They just can't find a way to fall.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just a matter of anybody can step up to the plate or, down to the basket in this case. But anybody honestly can take charge here. And we've seen for Standley Lake, it's been consistently Chloe Miller. She's not only an asset whenever it comes to shooting, but she's also an asset whenever it comes to just direction and taking control of the team, which is something that Frederick does not have right now.
Yeah, no one really has stepped up and been the leader, per se, for Frederick, like you put it there, Carly.
Exactly, as somehow Rivera.
Yeah, that's going to be over and back. Can't throw that ball backwards, but she had nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, she tried to kind of make a desperate effort out of nothing, which props to her for that, but can't exactly do that. Thank goodness Standley Lake doesn't have a rowdy crowd. Otherwise, we'd hear that you can't do that. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't more people here for such a dominant team. What a catch by Martin.
And did she get that shot off in time?
She did. She in fact did get that shot off.
She's kind of frustrating to play against. I will not lie. Obviously, I can't speak from personal experience. It's not like I'm down there on the court, but just seeing, you kind of vocalize with the frustration of the players down there. I mean, it's one of those where just watching, Micah Thompson keeps grimacing, and Emma Rivera, she keeps just like this very imminent look of frustration has kind of settled over her, and you feel it.
Yeah, it's hard right now with Frederick, especially when nothing is going your way like it is right now. And, yeah, that's going to be an over-the-back call. But nothing is going Frederick's way right now, which is you get to the point where you're so frustrated that you're going to start playing undisciplined. But Frederick has to keep their composure here as a timeout called by Frederick. Trying to reset. You got the ball. You have possession. What do you do with it? You're down 21 with a minute to go, with the minute timeout. Where are you going to go with the ball?
And, I mean, honestly, that was a perfect call, I think, from Coach Hansen, just to call the timeout. It's one of those where they need to recollect themselves, because right now they look very frazzled down there. And, I mean, it's been foul after foul, call after call. So one of those where you don't want to necessarily reach that breaking point, as you put it, where it's like, all right, now we've fouled how many times? We're going to keep sending them to the line, and this lead is going to continue to grow for Standley Lake. And so you don't want to start playing undisciplined, as you put it.
Yeah, you have to find a way to score. That is all you got to do. Score, score, score. You score, and then you go play defense. I am happy with how Frederick's played defense so far tonight. Obviously, JoJo Martin is tearing it up like a piece of paper.
That's an understatement. I want to get a check on how many points she has tonight. I really want to. I think she's put up at least maybe
15.
Yeah, I'd say 15 at the least, yeah.
Yeah, she is tearing up this Frederick defense, and she might even have the same amount of points as Frederick has as a team right now. I am not sure. Not keeping track up here.
Dale, as much as I hate to laugh about that, you're probably not wrong. As Rivera, head swivel, searching for anything, dumps it underneath, trying to find something in between Coronado and Torres, but there was absolutely no lane whatsoever in between the two of them.
Yeah, another turnover by Frederick. I am not sure where Rivera was looking there. Another miscommunicated piece. We've seen that a couple times from Frederick tonight. Communication has not been key.
No. And it's one of those where it wasn't like there was a ton of avenues for her to go to anyways, but just keep looking, keep going through each of your looks and just make sure that you have the separation, and they very clearly did not, as Martin, once again with possession, back to Coronado, dumps it back underneath the Martin. And my goodness, as unstoppable as she's been, it's kind of unbelievable to think she might not have gotten the points on that shot. As Torres evades quite a few people.
Takes the foul there, though. Yeah, like you said there, from Martin, I did not think she was going to miss that shot. The cutting over Torres, the height advantage is there, and then she just let the finger roll a little too hard and just bounced off the glass. But we're watching one of the best players in high school basketball, 4A in Colorado right now, go to work in JoJo Martin.
I mean, she truly is incredible to watch, honestly. I mean, if you're Frederick, at the end of this game, you better give her one big congratulations for her performance here tonight, because, I mean, once again, her hand on the ball as Martin floats it to Cassilly. Cassilly, no separation thanks to Torres, but kind of breaks Torres' ankles with the underneath to Coronado. Coronado back to Miller. Miller to Cassilly. Cassilly, no room whatsoever. Frederick kind of getting a little clogged with their lanes, though. As Thompson going back to guard Venezuela. And Howard gets a hand.
There's Izzy Howard. That's the physicality that she brings, and the stamina, the speed, the quickness that she has to read that pass before it came out of the hand, to be in the lane.
Exactly, and it's so great to have her back. And
the crowd chanting, "Let's go, Frederick," trying to get their girls back in it.
As they should, as Martin, don't know how she held possession of that, my goodness. She is honestly a beast down there right now.
She is tearing up this Frederick team.
And Howard, wide open shot. No good with the sink. That's frustrating if you're Howard.
Get the possession back, though.
As I'd just like to mention, last season, talking about Zoe Whitler. We talk about how incredible Zoe is a lot of the times, but let's look at a comparison between the points put up by Martin and Whitler. I mean, Whitler last season, her senior year, she put up 13 points a game, and she still played very wonderful.
She also was hurt for a good amount of those games.
Yes, she was.
Can't forget that.
Yes, she was. And so that's very impressive obviously, and took the team very far. And
tough loss to Mead in the grade 8.
Yes, very frustrating. But I mean, if you take a peek, I mean that's pretty solid, right, for your senior year. I mean, it's Zoe, for heaven's sake. As once again, Torres little too far. And finally, a little bit of production going on for them.
Standley Lake gets that timeout. As it was a great play there from Thompson. They're kind of just letting it shoot now. They're kind of just trying to do whatever they can to possibly score.
Yes. As, even the season before that, if we're looking at the 23-24 season, I mean, Zoe was putting up about 12 points a game.
That year might have been one of the best years of Frederick girls basketball I've seen.
Exactly.
Me and Jackson were there. We called that. I believe they went all the way to the Final Four against Air Academy in that year. And just kind of got smoked, but in a hard match.
But then, I mean, you take a peek at JoJo Martin, and she's almost doubling Zoe Whitler's numbers as a freshman. So what does that say about her? I mean,
you also got to counter in the fact that Frederick team that Zoe Whitler was on, everybody could score the basketball.
Yes,
so everybody was sharing the love.
I mean, Gallegos' layups were something, that's for sure.
Yeah, Gallegos came into form last year with her pull-up jumpers. Some of the most spectacular shots I've ever seen. Some of the cleanest releases I've ever seen. Salisbury came in a little bit there, too. Made some amazing buckets, amazing threes that kept this team on a strong hot streak for their win. They did not lose at home last season, which was incredible. 11-0. And then beat in the first. They won in the first round, went to the second round, and then took that tough loss to Meade in the grade 8. But
just to kind of, 100%. Just to kind of put it into perspective too, just watch Coach Hansen and May Torres kind of get into it a little bit. There was a lot of frustration as that'll be Frederick's ball. Great takeaway from JoJo Martin.
You got to get her flustered. Martin was not happy about that call.
No, she was not.
As I can kind of vouch for her there, that looked like it might have went off a Frederick hand, but she's flustered. She's trying to get the ball down the court, but she can't because Frederick's all in her lanes. That's exactly what Frederick needs to do.
Agreed. As Howard managed to find her in the corner and shot will not fall. Miller with the rebound. Howard on the coverage. Back to Martin. Martin kind of lost her footing. Dribbling to regain possession. As Thompson got all up in the face, Valenzuela going to dump it off to Miller. Miller with the quick hand. And bang, bang.
Make it 50.
Yeah, but as I was going to say, Torres and Coach Hansen had a moment of their own right before this drive started, and they were talking to each other, and Hansen had to pull her aside, and it looked like he was kind of comforting her a little bit. She seemed very frustrated. As Howard making something happen.
Yeah, Howard, I will say, has had kind of a slow debut back.
And honestly, I would expect nothing less from a huge injury. I mean, I wouldn't want her to come out swinging. As Rivera shot almost fell. My goodness, oh so close. As Martin floats one to Castley. As back to Martin. Torres on the coverage. Swings it over to Valenzuela, who finds Castley back in the corner. And that'll be Heath. Back to Castley.
Oh.
Castley pulls up.
Great finish from Castley. Nice little right hand lay, just right under Strojan's arm. Perfectly placed ball.
I mean, she is the third leader. I mean, she's one of the freshmen, and she puts up about 10 points a game, so she's having her own very solid performance this season.
Rivera can't hit the three.
As Castley once again floats it underneath to Valenzuela. Howard able to regain possession for Frederick. As right now, this is kind of make or break these last 3 minutes. This finds a wide open Torres. Torres' shot will not fall. Not the first time, but the second time. Torres, I believe those are some of her first points of the night.
Second point, I think it's number 4 or 5 for her tonight. Finally got an open look that she liked and was able to drop it off the rebound.
And Chloe Miller, I mean, she was wide open over there. As Frederick, they're really allowing these lanes of separation. As Rivera able to stay in. Gift it to Torres. Torres finding room, dumps in underneath to Strojic. Strojic back to Howard. Izzy for the three, and it is just shy, and she is frustrated.
Yeah, that one went right off the arm of Strojan out of bounds, and it's a tough one to fall there. 22-point lead, 2.5 to go. I think you're sitting in a moment of realization for Frederick that this might be it for the night.
Agreed. And it looks like starting to throw in some fresh faces here tonight again, who haven't had that much playing time, Back with Peyton Stone and Emma Hansen as Coronado chucks it to Heath.
Rivera knew exactly where that ball was going to go. Frederick doing a good job kind of spying, letting someone leak behind him, but then are right there to respond when that ball goes to her. Nice little check there.
Back to Thompson and a swat from Miller. Hansen trying to find Ruben Martin once again. And my goodness, she makes it look easy. As she is all smiles, and I mean, honestly, no reason to not be, as tonight she has gone to the line, I would argue 4 or 5 times.
She has put up the numbers tonight that have just kind of flabbergasted Frederick, I would say. It's just been, they were ready for her, but to the extent that they weren't ready for her, if that makes sense. It's just one of those hard games that you kind of have to hang your head, but realize, okay, we're good. Come back even stronger in the next one.
I mean, it's true. It's a little frustrating if you're Frederick, because it's one of those where more than likely with your minute and 48 left, you're probably going to fall, to Standley Lake on this game, which is rather unfortunate because we saw some really good glimmers of hopes from this team as Torres drives underneath and still nothing for her. My goodness, she's kind of struggled to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, tonight's been a little struggle from Torres. She's definitely going to feel it after this one.
As Martin quick ball to Coronado, and with the quick dump off to Coronado, my goodness, she can play softball with that.
Quick feed, 1-2, quick catch, drive, get it out to the cutting Coronado. And it just opens up the scoring lane once again. 26-point lead. This is just a hard game for Frederick right now. I think the moment has set in. So you kind of just have to wipe this one off the register. Just kind of take it away, erase it from your mind, come back even stronger in that next match. As next for Frederick, they will take on Lutheran the 3rd of January over our winter break. Should be exciting. I think we're going to be there for that one against Lutheran. Should be a fun game.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, there are a lot of fun games coming up, that's for sure.
I'm ready for that Meade game.
Oh, that goes without saying, I think, honestly.
Both teams took a really tough loss last year, especially the girls' team. They got blown out at Meade. The boys' team lost that game. So minimal. Could have been.
Both those games were so frustrating.
What could have been for Frederick in that game wasn't.
As back to Thompson. Thompson trying to find room, drives right underneath the basket. And once again, Standley Lake underneath.
Yeah, they're going to try to just run this clock out here, Carly, not give them anything.
Yes, they are, as that'll be Sina.
Keep away.
Back to Cassidy. Cassidy back to Valenzuela. Valenzuela back to Sina. Sina back to Cassidy. Cassidy back again.
This is a big game of monkey in the middle right now. Who's going to get it?
It's very backyard pickup ball vibes right now. As Valenzuela, they'll find Heath. Back across, and they're just going to run this time down until it's bare bones, which it pretty much is at this point.
Yeah, tough one for Frederick. They're going to fall to 6-2 on the year, putting another loss on the stat sheet, but ready to come back even stronger in the next game. We will see what this team can do as the final moments tick off the clock. The buzzer sounds. So final 56-30. Frederick fall in their second loss of the season and a tough one.
Yeah, frustrating one for certain. Very frustrating if you're the girls' team. I mean, this is kind of a dump on your morale. I'll put it at that. I mean, you've had such a great season so far, starting off with a very strong 6-1 record, but now falling to 6-2. It's not something to necessarily worry about on the season, but it is something to take into consideration about how it just felt like you came up short whenever it came to shooting. And that's okay because everyone has off nights, but it just felt like the whole team was just kind of having one big off night, which is very frustrating for the girls.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was the best game for Frederick. They felt a little lackluster, I want to say. They struggled to just find a way to score. And right now, it's just going to be one of the harder losses for Frederick's season, but ready to come back even stronger.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Definitely going to come back stronger from this game. Going to prove themselves next time.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Hopefully next time we'll have the actual color commentator, Noah Kraft, in here.
Hopefully so. I mean, we have a few weeks in between, so.
Winter break coming up as here comes your boys team coming on out. Ready to go for their matchup.
As unfortunately, you are going to not be blessed with my company, but you are going to be blessed with an angel in herself, the great Brielle Halloran, as she's about to pop on the microphone. But as for that boys team, tonight's broadcast has been brought to you by a talented crew of students here on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I've been Carly Evans alongside Ian MacHendrie. And a lot of other people were involved in the making. Elliot MacHendrie for camera one. We had Megan Curtis. We had Esperanza for a little bit. I'm not quite sure where Esperanza Rodriguez went, but she left. We also have Marcus Key for producer and a lot of other people. As I apologize for the janky credit read. Mine has currently vanished, but you will be blessed with Brielle's presence here in a minute as we will be right back here on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.